Hi guys, I want to show you something. I bought these 3 shelving units, and they're large, very large, and I'm going to talk to you now as I drive home. So bear with me here while I get in. Okay, my apologies. Whoa. My apologies for this little interruption here. Plug my phone in. Okay. All right. I showed you the shelving unit because I want to talk to you about something, ladies and gentlemen. I came up here, and as you may or may not know, but I'll tell you again maybe. The Lord convicted me last year of what my role is as a woman, and an element of pride has existed with me. That's like a demon that I have to try to conquer every day, the demon of pride. And as part of that walking out my own salvation with fear and trembling, it was impressed upon my heart last year that I should, when I go out in public, and really now all the time, I need to wear, dresses and skirts and things. Not just for church functions or not just for, a special occasion, but all the time. And I have seen, just in this little experiment, and I say it's an experiment because I've just noticed some things. Like, I can always turn back, right? I can always change, and if it ain't working out for me, I'll just go back, right? So up until, fairly recently, it's been like an experiment. Like, let's see what happens with this changing in my attire, changing in the way I present myself in the public, changing some things. And I'm always a work in progress, as we all are. But what I've discovered, and I'll tell you what happened to me today, just now, at this home improvement store. But what I have discovered, at least for me, as the more that I try to be humble and not prideful and be submissive as a gender role, right? There's much reward with that. There's a whole lot of reward with that. Not only in my marriage and my personal relationships, but also in the general public when I'm out. Now, it looks weird, and ladies, you're going to be mad. You might get offended, but check yourselves, okay? Check yourselves. And I know that it's not a requirement in this society, and it's not a requirement. Well, it is kind of a requirement in the Bible. It says, wives, submit yourselves to your husbands, and husbands, submit yourself to your wives. So in this relationship, when I go out, like, my husband's at work now. He's not with me. I'm by myself. But when I'm out in public with my husband, I let him walk ahead of me. I don't walk equal shoulder to shoulder with him, or oftentimes if I notice myself getting ahead of him, I try to linger back because he's the man, right? That's his role. And in the natural order of things, a biblical order of our lives, that is the role that God has prepared for us. Ladies who have a husband. I mean, it says in the Bible, I don't know where, you guys can look it up, but the man is over the woman, and the woman is over the children, but Christ is over the man. So when we, ladies, I was one. I knew it all. I wore the pants. I had a college degree. I got a doctorate. I'm Dr. Truck Driver, right? I'm strong, physically strong, and I can do some things. I'm the dominant person in the relationship. So it was not a natural thing for me to submit myself, to let my husband be the husband, let him make decisions, and if he wants my help, I'll assist. And so that has all changed. It's changing. It's a work in progress. But it's important to identify what God has put forth in our lives and what society, led by the devil, has changed in our lives. They have put, in an essence of goddess worship above everything, right? The women, that's the spirit of, what is that, Jezebel, right? Jezebel spirit. And when you have the Jezebel spirit, naturally comes the Ahab spirit, right? Brother Wally talks about this. Brother Wally talks about this. And so I'm checking myself. Slowly, it's a process. So when I'm out here at this hardware store, and I've got my long dress on, and I got my shirt on that says, "Can I pray for you?" I look, not on purpose necessarily, but I look like a weak individual. And not that I'm trying to be weak or I'm just doing my thing. I'm not really asking for any help. I'm not doing anything. I'm just minding my own business. But the moment I walk in with my little cart, my shopping cart, to pick up, I want 3 of these shelving units. But they're very large, and only one fit inside the shopping cart. And as soon as I reached up high to grab it off of they're like stacked up there, about 10 high or whatever. A really tall man comes over and he says, "Ma'am, can I help you?" And he was not a worker. He was just a shopper. He was just somebody in there to buy things. And he says, "Ma'am, can I help you?" Now, Tracy, Dr. Truck Driver, 3 years ago or 4 years ago would have said, "No, I got it. I'm all right. Thanks, though." But humble, submissive Tracy said, "Yes, please. Thank you." And he pulled one down off of the stack and put it in my shopping cart. But 3 of them would not fit in the shopping cart. They're just too large. But I knew that I'd passed one of those flat platform trucks. So I said, "Oh, I'll go out and get a platform cart." And he says, "Okay." And I never thought that he was going to be back. He was going to be there when I got back. I had to walk outside the building, grab the thing, and come back. I just thought he was going to go on his way, because that's what most people do. They just like, "Oh, okay." But when I got back, there he stood. And he literally put all 3 of those shelving units onto this platform truck. And I thanked him for his time and energy to help me. And that's what people do for other people. And not only that, when I pull up the cart to the self-checkout, the little worker guy, he says, "Ma'am, can I help you?" And I said, "Well, yeah." Now, we expect the workers to help us, right? But I allowed him. He says, "Oh, I'll scan them for you." And I said, "Okay, thank you." I allowed him to help me, when I certainly could have done it myself. I certainly could have scanned those things, no problem. But I allowed him to scan those shelving units, and I gave him my debit card to slide up into the machine. So I allowed another person to help me, but I allowed a man to help me, when normally it's contrary to my nature to let. Oh, this dog is loose. Good grief, what is going on? It's going to get hit by a car. Well, puppy, I can't help you right now. Okay, well, you go do that. But anyway, I'm sorry. But I'm just telling you, ladies, think about it. Humbling yourselves to your husbands, and humbling yourselves anyway in the sight of God, because He set forth a natural order for us, and it's all fractured, it's all splintered, it's all split apart like shards of glass, and it's in a bad way. But if we can slowly change ourselves and slowly get back to what that normal is, what that true way is, things change. They do. It don't seem like it at first. Oh, don't you know there were storms? Don't you know that there was a lot of conflict? Because Tracy, Dr. Truck Driver, wasn't going to put up with this or that or the other that my husband was wanting to do, or you know. But you know what? If he makes a mistake and he made the decision, and there's a big fallout from it, guess who's going to take the blame? Not me, because I didn't make the decision, right? Let the man be the man. And I know these are hard words to say, or to hear. Well, they are hard to say sometimes, but they're hard to hear because of the society is so far off center, like so far off of the correct path, that even atrocity, abominations seem normal and correct and true. And men, gentlemen, I want you to know that you've been robbed. You've been feminized. You've been mentally and every otherwise neutered, spiritually neutered, mentally neutered, and maybe to a certain effect physically neutered with the phytoestrogens in your diet, and the crap that you drink and you eat and you smoke and you whatever. So I mean, you're fundamentally changed also, and it's okay to try to reclaim that. Now, I'm not saying there's an element of like the male dogs. I'm a behaviorist. The male dogs, I've got two of them. One's really neutered and the other one's not. But it doesn't matter, because one will go out and pee on the stump and the other one will go out and pee right behind him. So there's an element of peeing and marking your territory. If that's what's got to be. But be gentle with your women, with your wives. And wives, the Bible says till death do you part. Does it? That's the oath you took anyway, to fulfill that contract. And I know, and I don't want it to get on, abuse and all that. That is another thing. That's another element. I'm not talking about that. But if you have a fairly harmonious relationship, and there's not, overt abuse, ladies, maybe kind of step back a little bit. Let your man be a man. And let him make decisions. And then when you're out, allow people to help you. And don't think that you can do everything. Because you know what? We want, in our mindset, we want Christ to do everything for us. Right? We want Him to do everything for us. So let's let our men do some stuff for us too. So I hope this is helpful and not a wild tangent rant. But I'm just thankful that I had some folks to help me today. I mean, sure, I could have got all that. You know, I lug 50-pound bags of animal feed all the time, and you know, scrape out the manure, and you know, I'm physical. I can do those things. But it was refreshing to have a total stranger come up and offer to help me, and I allowed him to do it. So you all have a blessed day in Jesus' name.